The sanctum holds its breath. It always feels alive at night, but tonight it feels aware. I kneel in the center of the marble floor, hands resting atop my thighs, palms open to the heavens. The braziers circling the chamber burn with steady gold-white flames, one for each of the 7 lights. But even those feel dimmer tonight, as though someone has drawn a thin curtain of frost across their glow. Shadows cling to the corners where they don't belong. My armor is set aside behind me, each piece carefully polished, earlier out of habit, though tonight my hands shook more than I care to admit. The cool air brushes across the linen of my undershirt, raising goose flesh. My breath mists faintly, even though there shouldn't be enough chill in the sanctum for that. Something is wrong with the air, or with me. I inhale once through my nose, forcing calm into my lungs. Justice, unclouded, I whisper. Innocence, unharmed. Oath. My voice falters. I swallow and try again. Oath, unbroken. Order, obeyed. Those final 2 words scrape the back of my throat on their way out. I've said them thousands of times. They've never once felt heavy. Tonight they feel like stone. The brazier's flames bend slightly toward me, not flickering. They move in one unified tilt, as if pulled. My skin prickles. I glance up, searching the sanctum, though I expect no mortal figure to greet me. When Solyn speaks, it comes not through human form, but divine radiance, visions of light and sensation, a voice made of dawn and judgment. Tonight, I need that voice more than ever. I bow my head, closing my eyes. Solyn, I murmur, guide me as you always have. Silence. A heavy, waiting silence that does not feel like absence but pressure, like air held just on the edge of breaking. Something burns faintly behind my sternum, a tight knot of unease. I attempt to breathe through it. The sanctum is sacred, protected. No corruption has ever entered this space in the century since it was consecrated. I grew up trusting these walls. I gave my oath within them. Yet tonight, the stone beneath my knees feels too cold. Like it's remembering winter long past. I try again. Light of judgment. I seek clarity. The air shifts. A thin, crystalline crack splits the silence. Then Caelan. My eyes fly open. The voice is Solyn's, or at least the beginning of it is. Warm, radiant, steady, like sunlight through cathedral glass. My breath catches at the familiarity, the almost painful comfort of hearing my God speak after so many days of quiet. But there is something else, a second tone flickering beneath the first, low, strained, like a voice echoing off stone and returning warped. I straighten instinctively, spine rigid, hands pressed flat against my thighs. I hear you, I say, though my voice shakes. The world erupts in light. It bursts behind my closed eyelids, searing gold and white, bleeding through my vision until I'm drowning in it. The radiance pours into the chamber like molten truth, thick and blinding. My breath is forced from me as if the air has been stolen. My heart races, a frantic drum. This is familiar, this overwhelming surge that precedes a divine command. But this time, there's a stutter in the radiance, a flickering pulse like a candle guttering in the wind. The light fractures, then the voice returns, layered. Caelan, my faithful hand, you will go. The echo underneath stretches each word like a shadow dragged behind it. Sweat beads along my hairline. My fingers dig against the marble in reflex. The floor feels too sharp beneath my palms. To Emberfall. A jolt shoots through me. Emberfall, home of the Oracle, home of the woman whose hands brushed my brow when I took my vow. The place where every paladin's journey of service begins and ends. The light sputters just for a second, a fracture, a ripple. Then you will find the Oracle. What must I do? I breathe. What service is required? The light trembles unnaturally. There is a tearing quality to it, as though something is dragging nails across the face of the vision. The two tones, the divine and the distorted, coalesce into one moment of terrible clarity. You will execute her. The words land like a blade in my gut. Everything in me seizes. The air vanishes from my lungs. I choke on nothing, a strangled sound escaping my throat. Violently, and then collapses inward. No, that cannot be your will, I gasp. Solyn, that cannot hear. My words dissolve beneath a new wave of radiance, but this one is wrong. Cold, flickering, tainted with the same distorted undertone I heard a moment before. Execute her. The voice warps, the syllables stretching unnaturally, overlapping as though multiple mouths speak through one throat. My palms scrape against the marble as I fall forward. Vision dimming around the edges. Pain spikes behind my eyes, a pressure that drives hard into my skull like an unseen vice. My God's voice, my anchor, my certainty is breaking. Clarify your will, I shout hoarsely. Explain yourself. I do not understand. The radiance dims suddenly. Then the braziers snuff out. All seven. Darkness slams into the sanctum with a force that nearly knocks me flat. A cold wave ripples down my spine. My breath comes sharp and shallow. And then, from the pitch black, a whisper, distorted, cracked, obey. A single word, sharp as ice, wrong. A wave of nausea rolls through me. I double over, clutching my stomach, fighting the dizzying spin of the world around me. As suddenly as it began, the vision ends. The darkness recedes gradually as the braziers sputter back to life, weakly, uncertainly, a pale imitation of their usual glow. The sanctum feels empty now, stripped of its warmth. The air smells faintly of ash. My hands tremble uncontrollably. My God commanded me to kill the Oracle. No, not commanded. Something commanded it. Something using Solyn's voice. Something forcing distortion through the divine stream. My heartbeat thunders in my ears. I force myself to stand. My legs nearly buckle. I grip the edge of the nearest brazier until my knuckles whiten. Solyn, I whisper. If that was you, if any part of that was you, please, speak again. Silence, utter and absolute. I feel abandoned, or worse, I feel watched. I back away from the brazier, each step unsteady. I keep glancing over my shoulder, irrationally expecting a figure to appear behind me. Nothing does, but the sanctum no longer feels like home. I gather my armor, piece by piece, hands numb, mind spinning. I don't remember opening the sanctum doors, descending the steps, or stepping into the corridor. I only realize I'm moving when the cool night air brushes across my face through an open window. My vision blurs as tears threaten, not from sorrow, but from the fear clawing up my throat. What am I supposed to do? I serve the light. I protect the innocent. I obey divine command. I cannot do all three. A whisper of fabric stirs behind me. Caelan, Maeryn's voice. Of course she finds me like this, ashen, trembling, cracked open. She always sees too much. She steps into the corridor, moonlight catching in her ash-blonde hair and the broken edge of her gauntlet. Her eyes lock onto mine instantly. Concern floods her features. You look like you've stared into the abyss, she murmurs. What happened? I open my mouth. No sound comes out. Maeryn steps closer. Caelan, talk to me. I swallow, and finally force the words out. I think something is wrong with the light. Maeryn stares at me as if I've just blasphemed aloud in the middle of the tribunal's grand hall. Maybe I have. Her steps slow, cautious, like she's approaching a wounded animal, or a friend who might break if she touches him too roughly. Start from the beginning, she says quietly, eyes locked on mine. Tell me what happened in there. I force a breath in. It shudders in my chest. The corridor feels too narrow, the torchlight too dim. My hands keep curling and uncurling at my sides, searching for something to hold. I received a vision, I say, her brows knit. From Solyn? Yes, I swallow, or I thought so. She doesn't speak. She knows better than to interrupt something like this. The light came to me, I continue. The radiance, the warmth. It felt right at first, like every vision before it. Maeryn nods once, encouraging. It flickered, I whisper, like a candle guttering, like something was pressing against it from outside. Her posture freezes. I force myself to keep going. If I stop now, I won't be able to start again. 2 voices, I say. Solyn's, and something else. Twisted, warped, like an echo dragged across stone. My skin prickles, remembering it. My stomach churns. Maeryn's face pales. She steps closer, lowering her voice. Caelan, what did the vision say? I look her straight in the eye. I was ordered to go to Emberfall. That surprises her, but she hides it quickly. Emberfall is sacred ground, home to the Oracle. No paladin visits lightly. And, she presses. I swallow hard enough it aches. And I was commanded. My voice shakes. I was commanded to execute the Oracle. Maeryn inhales sharply, hand flying to her mouth. I expect her to back away, to cross herself, to run to the nearest higher-ranked paladin and report me for speaking heresy. Instead, she grabs my wrist. Her grip is tight, urgent, terrified. Solyn would never command that, she whispers fiercely. I know, I breathe. Never. Her voice trembles. The Oracle is the conduit of the divine. Hurting her is unthinkable, blasphemous, and you took an oath to protect her. I know. The words rip out sharper than I intend. My breath breaks. I know. I know everything about this is wrong. Maeryn studies my face, searching for any sign that I'm lying or delusional. Finding neither, she slowly lets go of my wrist. Then she steps back, not in fear, in realization. Caelan, she says, you're not the first. My throat tightens. What? She leans closer until her forehead almost touches mine, speaking so low I barely hear her. A few months ago, she murmurs, I had a vision too. The world tilts. She has never told anyone she's received a vision. She said she wasn't attuned enough, that she wasn't ready. I believed her. I didn't speak of it because her voice wavers. Because what I heard frightened me. What did you hear? I ask. Maeryn swallows hard. A divine command. One that contradicted everything I swore. I stiffen. Maeryn, what was it? I was told to abandon a village under threat. She whisper hisses. Not defend it, not evacuate it. Leave it to burn. Something cold and heavy drops through my chest. And I didn't, she continues. I didn't obey, and the moment I refused, the vision snapped, like someone cut a puppeteer's strings. My eyes widen. Snapped, she nods. It didn't feel like Solyn. It felt like something wearing their skin. My pulse thunders. We stand in that corridor, barely breathing, both of us shaken to the core by the realization that neither of us has received a pure command from our God in months. Something is interfering with divine communication, something powerful, something malicious. Maeryn's hands tremble. I've never seen her afraid, not in drills, not in battle simulations, not even when she watched a trainee nearly die from a miscast spell. But now her fear mirrors my own. How long has this been happening? I whisper. I don't know, she admits, but if the tribunal learns we've both heard corrupted visions. Her voice trails off, but I know what she's implying. We could be marked, branded, unstable, investigated, purged even. The tribunal does not tolerate divine disorders or dissent. I squeeze my eyes shut, pulse racing. Maeryn, what do? I can't obey this command. I can't kill the oracle. But if I disobey Solyn, I'm violating my vow. And if I obey, you're violating every part of yourself, she says softly. Exactly. We fall silent again. The corridor seems to close in on us, whispering with unspoken possibilities. Finally, Maeryn squares her shoulders. We need to speak with the High Justicar. A chill slices down my spine. What? Absolutely not. Caelan, a divine command was given. It's our duty. To obey, I spit. Not to report visions that are clearly corrupted. What if he believes this was Solyn's true will? What if he orders me to carry it out anyway? Maeryn's expression hardens. You think he'd do that? I think, I say carefully, that Malric sees the oracle as a threat. He's always pushed for more control over the divine stream, more authority for the tribunal. Maeryn doesn't argue, which terrifies me more than if she had. Then what do you suggest? She asks. I need time, I say, to think, to pray again, to see if Solyn clarifies the command. Her jaw sets. You just told me the light went silent. I wince. I know, but I can't act on this command unless I'm certain. And I'm not. I'm the furthest from certain I've ever been. She studies me, then nods slowly. I'll give you that time, she says. But Caelan, you can't face this alone. I exhale shakily. I don't plan to. You're a terrible liar, she mutters. A laugh escapes me, brief, strangled, but real. Maeryn's lips twitch upward for half a heartbeat, but the moment passes quickly. Whatever this is, she says, it's bigger than you, bigger than your oath, bigger than the tribunal. I know, and whatever corrupted your vision might try again. I know that too, and the thought of hearing that twisted voice once more threatens to break something in me. She rests a hand on my shoulder. Get some rest. We'll figure this out. I nod, unable to speak. Together we walk down the corridor until our paths diverge. She gives me one last searching look before turning toward the barracks. I watch until she disappears around a corner. Then the corridor feels too empty, too silent, too cold. I turn toward my quarters, dread pooling in my stomach. I do not sleep. Sleep does not come. I lie in my narrow cot, staring up at the dark rafters, feeling the weight of the sanctum's lingering cold pressed into my chest. The barracks are quiet, except for the soft breathing of the other paladins, the occasional rustle of blankets, and the distant hum of the night watch bells. None of it reaches me. My mind is a storm. A shouting silence, a hollow echo of the word that shattered everything. Execute. A command cannot break an oath. A divine will cannot violate divine justice. A paladin cannot be ordered to harm one who is innocent under the light. These things are fundamental, yet the command wasn't a suggestion. It wasn't a metaphor. It wasn't a riddle. It was a sentence. I press the heel of my palm to my eyes until stars burst behind them. Light above, I whisper into the darkness. What am I supposed to do? The ceiling does not answer. Of course it doesn't. Solyn is silent. Not the distant, peaceful quiet of unanswered prayer, but a thick, suffocating void where their presence should be. That emptiness hurts more than the command itself. It's like someone tore out the foundation of my soul and left the jagged hole exposed and raw. I turn onto my side. The sheets are cold. My armor sits on the chair beside my cot, gauntlets catching faint moonlight through the shutters. It feels wrong to see it lying there, not worn, not ready, not obedient. Just like me. I push upright abruptly. I need air. Space. Something to drown out the twisting in my stomach. Quiet as possible, I slip from my bunk, pull on my boots, and make my way out of the barracks. The courtyard outside is washed in pale blue moonlight. The stone tiles gleam faintly, dusted with frost. Torches burn low in their sconces, more embers than flame at this hour. The air bites my lungs with each inhale. I walk toward the outer wall, keeping to shadow. I don't want company. I don't want explanations. I want clarity, and the silence inside me refuses to give any. Halfway across the courtyard, I hear padded footsteps behind me. I freeze, hand drifting instinctively to the hilt of my sword, even though I know no danger walks freely within the tribunal. A familiar voice breaks the tension. Couldn't sleep either, huh? Maeryn steps out from under the archway, arms folded, eyes shadowed with exhaustion. Even off duty, she looks ready for a fight. Chin lifted, shoulders squared, jaw set with muted fury. I didn't mean to wake you, I say. You didn't. I wasn't asleep. She steps closer, her boots crunching softly over the frost. I kept thinking about what you said, about what you heard. I exhale shakily. I keep telling myself it wasn't Solyn. Caelan, I know the light. I continue, words tumbling out. I know the feel of their presence. I know what divine authority sounds like. That wasn't it. It felt wrong. Maeryn's brow furrows. Describe it. Like someone dragged Solyn's voice through broken glass. My fingers curl unconsciously. Like something was pushing through the stream from the other side, twisting it as it came. She goes pale. That's what mine felt like, she says quietly. Like a mimicry. Something nearly perfect, just enough to fool a novice. But I knew, deep down, I knew it wasn't them. And that's why I didn't obey. She looks away, guilt flickering across her face. And that's why I didn't tell anyone. We stand there, two paladins, sworn to absolute obedience, finally admitting that obedience may no longer be possible or safe. A gust of wind stirs Maeryn's hair. She shivers. So, what now? I don't know. I rub my temples. The High Justicar expects me to report to him at dawn. I can't hide this forever, but you won't tell him everything. I can't. My stomach knots painfully. If I say what I really heard, he'll demand I act on it. And even if he doesn't, word will spread. The tribunal does not react kindly to perceived heresy. Maeryn snorts. Understatement. We share a look, a brittle moment of dark humor in the middle of a nightmare. Then she softens. Caelan, she says, stepping closer, voice low and earnest. You don't have to carry this alone. Whatever's happening to the divine stream, it's not your fault, and it's not your burden more than anyone else's. I feel like it is, I say quietly. Of course you do. She gives a half-smile that doesn't reach her eyes. You're you. I huff out a humorless breath. You say that like it's a flaw. She stares at me for a long moment. No. Like it's the reason why whatever's coming, you'll face it with your spine intact. I don't know what to say to that, so I don't say anything. Instead, I lean forward and rest my forehead against the cool stone of the courtyard wall. My breath fogs in the night air. I need to pray again. Maeryn sighs. You just did. And the light was silent. Exactly. I need to try, I insist. Maybe the distortion was temporary. Maybe the divine stream is clearing. Maybe, she interrupts, stepping into my line of sight. Whatever corrupted your vision is waiting for you to open yourself up again. That thought chills me to the bone. She sees the fear flash in my eyes. Caelan, listen to me. Her hand grips my forearm. You're the most disciplined paladin I've ever met. You don't take risks. You weigh everything. You don't jump without looking. That's not true, I mutter. Oh, name a time. She has me there. She presses on. Point is, if you think praying again is too dangerous, then don't do it. I didn't say it was too dangerous. She raises a brow. But you're scared. I blink. She's right. And Maeryn is never wrong when it comes to reading me. I'm terrified, I admit. The wind quiets. Even the torches seem to dim in response. Good, she says simply, because I am too. We stand in silence again, but this silence feels different, solid, shared, no longer suffocating. What are you going to tell the Justicar? She asks. I'll say the vision was fragmented. I rub my neck. That the only thing I know for certain is that Solyn wants me in Emberfall. That part is true. Maeryn concedes, and I'll say the Oracle may be in danger, not from me, but from whatever corrupted the stream. She nods. Smart. That will buy us time. Time. The one thing I desperately need. Maeryn. I hesitate. If he assigns a squad. I'm going with you, she says immediately. Are you sure? Yes. I shake my head. What if the High Justicar suspects something? What if he thinks we're conspiring? She finishes with a shrug. Then he's an idiot. Paladins don't conspire. We investigate, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Before I can respond, a bell tolls from the watchtower. 4 chimes, pre-dawn. Maeryn straightens, her breath fogging in the cold. Get ready. She says, the Justicar will summon you at first light. My gut twists painfully. Caelan, she says, catching my gaze again. Whatever happens tomorrow, we face it together. I nod. Together. She touches my shoulder gently, an anchor in the storm, then turns back toward the barracks. I watch her go. The courtyard feels colder the moment she's gone. I linger a little longer, staring up at the sky, searching for something, for any faint glimmer of divine presence, any sign Solyn is still listening. Only the stars stare back. A strange pressure hums faintly across my skin. A sensation like being watched from somewhere impossibly distant. The back of my neck prickles. I whisper into the night. Solyn, if you can hear me, please give me something. Anything. Silence answers. Again, I breathe out shakily and turn toward my quarters. Dawn will come. Soon. And with it, answers. Or orders. Or damnation. Maybe all 3. Either way, everything changes at first light.